With the release of the Z Flip 6 and Z Fold 6 coming up soon, I thought, what would make these phones better? Now, I'm not going on a full-on unrealistic wish list. I'm actually trying to keep my wish list somewhat realistic. So with that said, here's my wish list for the Z Flip 6 and Z Fold 6. Number 1 is a reduced crease. Samsung has really taken it easy on the last generations of the Flip and Fold. And in my opinion, the crease hasn't been improved nearly enough. This year, I hope to get it to the level of the OnePlus Open or the Razer Plus of 2023 at the bare minimum. This is one of the items on my wish list that I actually have hope for. So let's see if they come through. Item number 2 on my list is for the main or inner screen to have the anti-glare screen protector. This one was also done by the OnePlus Open, so it's not like it's new technology or anything. And to add on top of that, Samsung had an anti-glare screen protector available for the S24 and S24 Plus on their store. So really they do have the technology, it's just a matter of bringing it out for the Z Flip 6 and Z Fold 6. The anti-glare screen protector would increase the viewability of the phone, of the main screen, and it would even reduce the visibility of any crease that's there. So this would be a huge improvement for something that's actually quite simple for them to do at this point, I imagine. Item number 3 on my list is an anti-glare cover screen. This can either be done by using the Gorilla Glass Armor screen or by providing an anti-glare screen protector available for the cover screen as well. My preferred method would obviously be the Gorilla Glass Armor because it also provides additional scratch resistance. The reason I really want this, besides the obvious benefit of a better viewing experience, is because both of these phones are basically the top of the line for Samsung, and they really do deserve the top of the line specs, especially since they're giving up on camera and battery. So if you're not gonna have that, you gotta give it everything else that you can. Out of all the items in my list, this is probably the least necessary, but it just seems like the tech is already there. Just implement it and give us a better experience. Item number 4 is a better camera, and this is for both the Z Flip 6 and Z Fold 6. However, they could each be improved in different ways. For the Z Flip 6, the main camera sensor needs to be larger and at least 24 megapixels. The industry standard is 48 or 50, and Samsung chooses to go with 50, so that's probably the megapixel count that would be used next. It's gotta be above 12 no matter what. I would also like to see a 3x sensor added to the Z Flip 6. With this sensor, I wouldn't expect anything large, but the current 3x sensor that's available on the S24 would be good enough. Out of all the items on my wish list, this is probably the most far-fetched one. Now moving to the Z Fold 6. A great place to start for an improved camera experience on this phone would be an improved 3x sensor, or replacing it with the 5x sensor from the S24 Ultra. Given that Samsung doesn't have any phones that go from 1 to 5x, I find it hard to believe that they'll start that now with this phone. But if they're not going to do that and they're going to stick with a 1 and 3x sensor, which is not a bad setup, I would want a larger and better 3x sensor. I also want to see an improved main sensor. The 50 megapixel sensor that's on the Z Fold 5 is by no means a bad sensor, but I don't think it's good enough to be on an $1,800 phone. At this price point, I would like to see the main sensor that's on the S24 Ultra. And I know it's going to be difficult to fit it into the folding format, but going back to OnePlus, they did it on the Open. Yeah, it has a massive camera bump, but I haven't found that huge camera bump to be an issue in my daily use, and I don't think that's gonna harm this phone at all. So for $1,800, Samsung has to find a way to fit a larger sensor on the Fold series. And finally, number 5 on my list is faster charging. I don't care too much about the wireless charging, but I do want the wired charging to be at least 45 watts. This will actually benefit both phones. So starting with the Z Flip 6, the 45 watt charging would help with the battery anxiety and the phone having a smaller battery and not really making it through the day. Based on the battery size for the Z Flip 5, I would estimate that 45 watt charging will fill it up between 30 and 45 minutes. And that will go a long way with the Z Flip 6 because it'll allow the users to plug in the phone and charge up the battery to a usable percentage very quickly. For the Z Fold 6, it would be more of the principle of being able to charge the phone in sub 1 hour. From my experience, the Z Fold 5 lasts me all day without too much worry, and I expect the same or better from the Z Fold 6. So it's not going to be so much for, ease of mind to be able to make it through the day. It'll be more to have that premium feature of being able to charge the phone faster in under an hour. Again, we're going back to the $1,800 price point, and 25 or 30 watt charging for a phone of that price is just not enough in my opinion. And the phone already has a split battery because of the design by default. So why can't they just implement adding the 20 watts or 25 watts per battery and get it to the 45 to 50 watt charging? It seems like half the groundwork is already there and they just don't want to give us the 45 watts. Maybe it's to save for a future phone and count it as an upgrade, but there's no reason. Let me know in the comments if you have any items for the wish list. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.